Why it sucked to be Julius Caesar. Let's start with his bald spot and work our way up to the insane stuff that would leave you with nightmares. Number 5. So here's the thing. Julius Caesar didn't just want power. He wanted coverage. Scalp coverage. Because beneath the armour, the empire, the et tu brute drama, was a man desperately hiding a bald spot that could blind enemy troops at noon. Dude was walking around ancient Rome with a forehead so massive, birds probably thought it was a landing strip. You could project gladiator fights on it. And unlike modern day bald dudes who slap on confidence and a beard, Caesar was in full denial mode. This man clung to his laurel wreath. Wore it indoors, at dinner, in bed, probably in the bath too. And if you think the Romans didn't notice, please, they invented petty. People wrote diss tracks about his hairline, literal poems dragging his scalp. But Caesar wasn't going down without a fight. He turned to ancient hair remedies, and by remedies, I mean full-blown cursed potions. He smeared mice dung, bear fat, and boiled deer marrow on his head like it was a lush hair mask. The result? Nothing grew, except the smell. People probably followed him just to check if the stench was part of a new war tactic. So yeah, Julius Caesar, conqueror of Gaul, father of modern politics, was just one follicle away from a crisis. And if you think this was bad, I haven't even got to the good stuff yet, because Caesar's life sucked from the moment he was born. Number 4. So baby Caesar gets kidnapped by pirates, and instead of panicking, he acts like it's a networking event. They demand a ransom of 20 talents of silver, and Caesar gets offended. How dare they undervalue his clout? He tells them, make it 50, I'm worth more. And in the meantime, Caesar turns this kidnapping into a picnic. He reads poetry to the pirates. He critiques their sword form. He shushes them if they don't laugh at his jokes. And then, right before leaving, he's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to crucify all of you when I'm free. They laugh. Spoiler alert, Caesar doesn't bluff. A few weeks later, he shows up with a war squad, finds every pirate and nails them to crosses, like it's his side quest for the weekend. Being kidnapped sucks, but at least he got back at them. But if getting kidnapped by literal pirates wasn't bad, well, it got worse. Number 3. Let's talk about Caesar's real PR nightmare. The ancient rumour mill said he hooked up with King Nicomedes of Bithynia, and Rome went off. The senators started calling him the Queen of Bithynia. Not prince, not concubine, queen. Now, this was ancient Rome. You could stab a dude in the Senate and still be respected. But be rumoured to have a male lover? Oh no. His political rivals weaponised it and made him look like a little girl. In every debate, they'd throw in a sassy, well, your majesty, just to watch him twitch. The soldiers, they turned it into marching songs. Literal battlefield chants about Caesar being someone's royal side piece. And no matter how many wars he won, the gossip clung like cheap perfume. He conquered half the known world, and still couldn't conquer one scandalous sleepover. So yeah, a guy can't have non-platonic sleepovers out here. And well, it does get worse than this because they didn't even spare him after he died. Number 2. Okay, imagine the entire universe waving red flags. Birds flying backwards. Bulls being sacrificed with missing hearts. Julius's wife waking up from a nightmare of him bleeding out in her arms and begs him not to go out to the court. Even the sky looked at Caesar and said, my guy, don't do it. But did he listen? Nope. He was like, omens are for broke people. He walked straight into the Senate, dressed in full purple, looking like a disco eggplant. And bam! It's over. Turns out he should have listened to the soothsayer who told him, beware the Ides of March. But Caesar, too busy focusing on his jewels that day. He treated ancient omens badly and, well, you know where it led to. Ignored every sign, every bad dream, every warning from the gods, ghosts and girls. And that, kids, is how you get surprise murdered by 23 co-workers before lunch. The real lesson here? Always listen to the guy holding the animal guts. But wait until you hear how he really died, because that just proves how Julius Caesar's life sucked bad. Number 1. So everyone knows Caesar died. But not everyone knows he got sliced like a garlic clove at an Italian restaurant 23 times, with knives, by his own boys. And the worst part was, only one of those stab wounds was actually fatal. The rest? Just bonus violence from senators who clearly didn't know anatomy. Some hit his arms, some hit his leg. One guy probably missed and stabbed his own sandal. And in the middle of all this human blender action, Caesar sees Brutus. His ride or die, his work bestie. And Brutus shanks him too. That's like finding out your dog switched teams mid-burglary. No wonder he supposedly mumbled, "Et tu, Brute." Translation, dude, seriously? He died on the floor of the Senate, bleeding all over a statue of Pompey, the guy he defeated years earlier. One might say it was poetic justice, but Pompey probably sucked too, so never mind. So, would you want to change places with Julius Caesar for a month, or you're good? Drop the answer in the comments, and if you know someone who still thinks history's boring, send them this.